Billy Redhead Burr recently did an interview on Good One with Jesse David Fox and proceeded to light a firecracker by calling out podcast comedians and finally responding to professional Israel glazer Ben Shapiro, who has trashed Bill Burr and his wife on numerous different occasions. Bill also clarifies his political views as a comedian and how he feels like it's a comedian's job to call out both sides as they deem fit and not to pledge allegiance to any one political party. Now, do I think Bill Burr does a good job of calling out both sides? We will be discussing that shortly. So if all of that sounds interesting to you, then let's hop right into it. To begin with, Bill Burr spends this episode talking about his recent special and a lot of what he has learned. But then he gets asked about Ben Shapiro and all the comments he's made about him and his wife, to which Bill gives him a very blunt response and then parlays it into his views on the grander podcast community.
Ben Shapiro talked about going to one of your shows and complaining about you becoming woke, which sort of then created this...
He doesn't even know what that word means.
Let me summarize.
His definition of woke is white liberals' definition of woke, and they didn't even know what it was.
Yeah.
He went there to be annoyed so he can then have something to talk about, and then he can make money off of dividing his own country.
Yeah.
Those people, it's treasonous what they do.
Yes, but to be fair, or not to be fair, the fact is that it worked for what his goal is, which is then it became a thing online where then a certain portion of the right complain about how you're woke.
Racists.
And we're racist.
They're racist. Yeah, they send pictures of monkeys to me and my wife. They're fucking horrible people, and they're cowards, and they never say it to your face.
Yeah.
They never do that. Look, dude, there's an ugliness that's out there right now where, there's certain podcasts out there that if you're a racist, if you're an anti-Semite, if you're a psycho-nationalist and you want a softball interview, there's podcasts out there where you can, and they will laugh at your fucking bad jokes and just give you this pass. And it's like, there's a really ugly thing that's going on out there. And, it's the kind of things we've already seen this, and we've seen what it does to a nation. And it's not the way to go. Excuse me, I don't put that level of importance on my act. What I'm finding is that people keep trying to categorize what it is that you're doing. Like that idiot Ben Shapiro. No, he's woke now. He's like, I don't... That fucking guy, someone came to me and goes, hey man, he was trying to bring me into his fold. At one point, the guy liked me.
Yeah.
And then when I didn't, then all of a sudden I'm a fucking asshole. I mean, I'm supposed to look at that guy like he's an adult?
Do you feel misunderstood if people take you words one way or the other?
No, I'm deliberately misunderstood.
Got it.
All right, so there's a lot to unpack here. Up until this point, we have not seen Bill Burr speak publicly about Ben Shapiro, at least to my knowledge. I do agree that people from the Daily Wire like Ben Shapiro, their entire job is just to sell division to the country and to further the political dichotomy between left and right by driving the wedge deeper and deeper. I made a video in the past where I surmised that Ben Shapiro's beef with Bill Burr probably has to do with the following. He probably went and saw Bill Burr do stand-up comedy live and didn't like the show, and then later on when Bill Burr was a guest on Club Random with Bill Maher and sided with the children not being bombed instead of just glazing Israel, this was probably the straw that broke the camel's back for Ben Shapiro. Not to mention Bill Burr has openly said free Luigi, and it's well documented that Ben Shapiro loves to lick establishment boots and taints anytime he can. Furthermore, Bill has also talked about how some podcasters will host very controversial guests and not even ask them difficult questions. My first thought here is the Nelk Boys, who recently had on Benjamin Netanyahu as a guest and proceeded to ask him questions about fucking Burger King.
What's your go-to at McDonald's?
No, I'll tell you Burger King. We did the double,
Whopper?
The double.
I haven't ripped Burger King in a long time.
Burger King kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus Christ, what a joke. I also think Bill is talking about the grander comedy podcast genre, too, for having political candidates on their show, like Joe Rogan having on Trump and not even asking him any challenging questions or really pressing him in any way. Bill actually corrects the interviewer shortly after this point when he tries to box Bill and his supporters in a little bit.
At the same time, you're talking about billionaires, you're talking about stuff like this, and people on the left have been really embracing you, and they're sharing your videos.
No, that's not true, dude.
Certain parts of the left.
That's not true.
Certain portions of the left.
That's not true. And certain portions of the right.
Sure.
There's common sense on both sides.
Sure.
But we keep doing this shit. Where it's like, oh, the right's all fucking racist, and dude, the left is some of the most fucking. Most of the left feels like if they have a black friend, they don't have issues. Okay, I'm out of that.
Yes,
I'm out of that,
and
so I don't want to hear left and right crap. They're all fucking nuts. And I travel, dude, and I'm telling you, people who lean right and lean left are chill. And we're just sitting in the middle like, when is everybody going to fucking calm the fuck down? When is this going to go back to live and let live?
Even if you don't like Bill Burr, I think most people can respect this take from him. Bill isn't boxing in the people who lean slightly left or slightly right here at all, and acknowledges that there's common sense on both sides. Most of the country probably thinks what is happening right now on a national scale is fucking insane because, well, it is. This is why I don't agree with the blanket statement people often hurl about how Bill Burr has gone completely woke that is often coined by people like Ben Shapiro. Now, is Bill a little bit more left-leaning than he used to be? Probably. But there's nothing wrong with that as long as he continues being funny, which if you ask me my opinion, I think Bill Burr is still quite funny. He also talks about his approach to discussing politics in his act and how he thinks comedians should do this.
When you think of talking about politics at all in your act, what do you want to do, right?
If I do it, I trash them both.
Yeah. With what?
Because that is my job. I can't fix the political system, and I don't watch a lot of it. You know, when I do stand up, you know, if I start trashing like Trump, I would hear the left in the crowd like, yeah, and I'd be like, the fuck, you voted for a guy that, you know, is staring off into space. Mm-hmm. Like, your guy literally should be in a fucking home. What are you patting yourself on the back for? X, Y, and Z, blah, blah. Your fucking party has not let you vote for, has not let you choose your candidate.
I do agree with what Bill says about how comedians should trash both sides to the best of their ability. Now, if you want to argue that Bill is biased towards the left, you can do that, and you could maybe even make me agree with you, but I think he's right here, and the last time I got to see Bill Burr perform live, I thought he did a great job of staying pretty fair and balanced about everybody he made fun of. What he talks about in the podcast of making fun of Trump and then people on the left cheer and then going after them, I did see him do that in real time, and it was quite funny for me to watch as somebody who considers himself to be somewhere in the middle. Then finally, Bill is asked yet again about podcasters having on political candidates, and what he says I find very interesting.
What do you feel about politicians and billionaires who've appeared on podcasts of your peers?
Oh, dude, it was before that. I remember the first time I saw a president go on the Tonight Show. I thought it was cheapening The Office. It's like they never did that. Now that everybody has a camera and blah, 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 it's just so all over the place. I just think the landscape of it has changed. All I can say is personally, I would never do it with my intellect. I'm not going to sit there and be like, so like, what's your foreign policy? Like I would be like within 3 minutes, dude, what was your favorite Super Bowl? And then people be like watching it going, I like that Super Bowl too. I'm going to vote for this guy. Somebody said to me one time, I go, Bill, you know, you're a really smart guy. And I go, yeah, in a sports bar. You put me in a sports bar and you want me to talk about 70s and 80s sports, I am scoring very high.
Yeah.
All right. You put me in like that forum to have to interview somebody that is going to run for president, and then as the sports bar guy, you're going to see like, yeah, this guy did go to summer school a lot. So
I think Bill is completely right again. Obviously, we live in a free country for now, and people can do whatever they want, even if that means having a presidential candidate on their podcast. But I just don't think most people are smart enough to yield a high-level interview for someone of this importance and this magnitude. Whether you like the guy or not, Joe Rogan probably has the best interviewing chops because of the thousands of hours he has spent doing so, but even his interview of Trump, I really think missed the mark. Like Bill said, a lot of comedians are the smartest guy in the room at a sports bar, but when it comes to being smart enough to ask somebody that important, really good questions that are challenging, most of them probably aren't well equipped to do so. And I think Bill's in the right here to say that he would never ever have someone like that on his show. All that being said though, I'm not a decider of what should and should not happen. I'm just a moron on the internet giving my opinion. Some of you guys may love when a comedian has a politician on or absolutely hate it. That's for you to decide. I know I'm a little late to the party because a few of my peers like American Redact and others have already covered this topic, but I had some thoughts of my own I just wanted to share, and I wanted to check in on all of you guys. Before I conclude the video, I just wanted to take a moment and thank everybody for 50,000 subscribers. I really appreciate each and every one of you for hitting that little red button down below. I'm super grateful for how much this channel has grown and can't wait to see where it goes from here. You guys guys are the absolute best subscriber squad on the planet. Once again, I can't say enough how thankful I am. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Leave me a comment with your thoughts on Bill Burr's interview and whether you agree with him or disagree with him. That's all I got for you guys today. But in the meantime, if you want more content to watch right now, here's a video about Bill Burr's famous Philly rant and a lot of the small details that a lot of people miss about it. Go ahead and click the link above to check that out now.